Welcome back to another honest e-skate review. If this is your first time at the channel, please consider subscribing. Also, please click on the playlist. Inside my playlist, you'll find a bunch of videos that you will probably find interesting. Always check the description of my most recent video for an updated list of discount codes and links. So I have a lot of new stuff to try out this weekend. We got the Onsra here. We got a set of the polyurethane 97mm wheels. We got a set of 120 cloud wheels. 105mm cloud wheels should be delivered this weekend. Try to get that into this video also. And then we have the prototype of the 45T ABEC pulleys. So right now on Onsra website, you can get the 40Ts. I'm fat, I get it. I'm 200 pounds. 40T probably not going to work for me, so I opted for the 45T. Now these are the prototypes. So yes, they are just plain metal, aluminum colored, whatever you want to call it. They will be black if they go into production, but I'm going to test out the 45Ts, which I think are going to work great with the cloud wheels. So let's get to it. Alright, let's start off talking pulleys. So here we have the 40-tooth Kegel pulley. That probably will not go back on the board unless I get something that's, 90mm wheels or something like that that takes the Kegel adapter. That won't get put back on the board. So the 45T Kegels are what's on the board now, putting the rubber wheels back on. And then here are the prototype for the 45T ABECs. The 45T ABECs did great with both the 120mm cloud wheels and the 97mm polyurethane wheels. It's a little on the aggressive side for the polyurethane, so if you weigh under 200 pounds, they're probably not going to work for you for the 97mm. If you weigh under 200, I suggest going 40 teeth for anything under 100mm wheels and 45 teeth for anything over 100mm wheels. That wraps up the pulleys. So bottom line up front on the wheels, if you want something that is super aggressive for braking and acceleration, go with the 97. Not really comfortable, we'll talk about that, but go with a 97. If you want something that's super comfortable but not good on range, go with the rubber. And if you want something that's decent on range, well, good on range and pretty comfortable, then go with the cloud wheels. Now, if you want to see how I determined that, keep watching. Let's talk about the 120mm cloud wheels. Now, the 105s, I was going to test them in the same video. They didn't come in. FedEx said that they would be here on a Friday. It's now Saturday, and now the delivery date has changed to unknown. So I'll have to do those in a different video. I am going to do a full video on just the cloud wheels. That'll just come once the 105s get here. So let's talk about the 120s. First of all, I was extremely impressed on the distance these got. So we all know that with the rubber wheels, I was getting about 14 miles conservative riding. With these, I'll throw up the GPS. With these, I got over 22 miles. So the range greatly improved with these. Also, I was pleasantly surprised on how smooth they were. So I ride on a lot of sidewalks, I ride on a lot of rough asphalt, and these, although not as good as the rubber wheels, they're pretty close, so I was really impressed with those. I went into the review on these cloud wheels being very skeptical, so I watched the average e-skate review video, and they just bashed cloud wheels. They bashed them. They hate them. So I went into this with, I thought I was going to hate them. I thought that they were going to be trash. I thought that they were going to have no grip. That's not the case. I actually ended up really liking them. Speed test with the 120mm cloud wheels. 45T ABEC pulleys. Remote said 30 miles per hour. We'll see what GPS starts to get unstable, I don't feel safe on it. So 30 miles per hour kind of my max, but the 120 and 45T pulleys will do over 30 miles an hour. Now for the 97 millimeter wheels, the polyurethane wheels. So I turned my GPS on this ride. The GPS paused at 12 miles. So I don't know the actual GPS. Here's a picture of the actual remote. And as you can see, with the cloud wheels and the polyurethane, the remote was right around the same mileage. So we're gonna call this the same at the cloud wheels. It got about 22 miles on the polyurethane wheels. So these wheels with the 45T pulleys, they are super responsive, man. If you can full throttle it and you can fully brake it, but if you're not ready for it and you're not leaning in the correct direction, it's gonna throw you off the board. Even being 200 pounds, it would almost throw me off the board. So take that with a grain of salt, put that into your equation when you're trying to figure out pulleys. If you wanna ride the urethane wheels, then it's gonna be a mix-up between 40 and 45Ts. If you weigh more and you really want the board to be aggressive, then go with the 45s. If you're, anything under 200 pounds, then you'll probably have better luck with the 40Ts. Sorry for the wind. So this is a top speed test with the 97 millimeter polyurethane wheels and the 45T pulleys. Miles an hour. Remote said 26 miles an hour. We'll see what the GPS says. So there are four main criteria that I'm looking at when I was reviewing all the wheels. So the first one was comfort, and hands down, without a doubt, the most comfortable wheels are the rubber 115 millimeter wheels. The second criteria I was looking at was grip. Again, hands down, the clear winner, the 115 millimeter wheels, the rubber wheels. Both the cloud wheels and the polyurethane wheels will sketch out on you. They will, slide out on you. Either I found that it did it when I went over the ribs, the bumps when you're going into an intersection that are there for blind people, or when going around a corner and there's loose gravel. So I don't mean sand. I think any wheel will sketch out if there's sand. But what I do mean is just some loose, small rocks, some loose gravel. Both the cloud wheels and the polyurethane wheel will slide out on you. The third criteria was distance, and this is where the 115 rubber wheels takes a nosedive. So I average about 14 miles per ride on the 115s, and both on the 120 cloud wheels and the 97 polyurethane wheels, I got 22 miles on them. The fourth criteria going to be durability, and for that, I just don't know right now. So I have roughly 160 miles on the 115 rubber wheels, and they're still holding up great. I put around 32 miles on both the polyurethane and then 32 miles on the cloud wheels. They're holding up great right now. These are the new cloud wheels, or supposedly the newer cloud wheels, with the clear cores that are thicker. I know that there was some problems with the first generation with the black cores, the core breaking apart and the wheel coming off. So only time will tell on that. So in summary, if you were to ask me, hey Ramatorix, if you're going to buy the board and one extra set of wheel and pulley, what would you buy? So I'd buy the board with the 45T Kegel pulleys with the 115 rubber wheels. Then I would buy the 45T ABEC pulleys, and I would buy a set of cloud wheels. Which cloud wheels? I don't know yet because I haven't been able to test the 105 millimeter wheels. So stay tuned. As soon as they'll come in, I'll do a full review of both sizes and then throw it up. A little bit of extra information for people looking at Onsra. So Fabian has done a couple interviews and through a couple email correspondence with myself has discussed a couple things coming up. So number one of the things coming up is he's developing a bigger battery enclosure and gonna put a bigger battery in both the direct drive and the belt drive of the black Carve. That's gonna be awesome to see. Here's a picture of the battery enclosure that he's thinking about going with. Another thing Fabian disclosed on a podcast with Everyday E-Skate Reviews. If you haven't seen the newest one with Fabian, watch it at like the 103 mark. He gives me a shout out, butcher my name, Ramatorix, but he gave me a shout out nonetheless. I felt like that Monster on Monster Inc. that was doing the commercial and the Monster Inc. logo covered his entire body, but he was still super excited about it. That's how I felt. I was still super excited that I got a shout out from Fabian on that channel, but when you were discussing with them, he also brought up that he's in development of an app. And according to Fabian on that interview, the app will work with all the boards, even the ones that have already shipped. So if an app comes out, hopefully it will work with this board. One more thing Fabian been talking about, he made his own video and he said that he's testing them currently, but he's talking about a little bit harder rubber wheels. So what that will do, and for heavier set people or anybody, over 150 pounds, I guess, what it will do, it'll still give you some of the comfort. I'm sure it'll be a little bit more rough, but it'll give you some of the comfort and hopefully will give us more distance than 14 miles. So I'm super excited about those. I'm going to try to get my hands on a set of those as soon as I can, and I'll do a review with a distance test if I can get a set. As always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down and tell me why. I've had one person so far. They were very honest in the comments. They told me exactly why they gave me a thumbs down. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Some things I'll change, some things I won't, but it never hurts.